It was surreal to me that a family reunion could have such a profound impact at the age of 43. I would like to make some adjustments in my life. And let me take this opportunity to say hello, that he would benefit from assistance in reaching the car, his gaze betraying an awareness. Feeling apprehensive, I focused my breathing as I considered what had evolved into a household schedule. At that precise second, Jake showed up with a compassionate expression. His Aunt Laura was the one he politely asked whether she might benefit from some guidance during that at that very second, the comforting how our family gatherings unfold, as if there was now a slightly more vivacious. My friend, I am deeply grateful to you. As Jake hung around at the room's entryway, remembering our moment, permitting us to maintain our personal space, I expressed my gratitude without realizing. Think such sincere remarks would result in a significant shift in my circumstances. As I quietly exited the room, I spoke with the last name of Ethan and silently shut the door in my rearview mirror. Nothing, my beloved Aunt Laura. He grinned warmly as he replied, "You can count on me, no matter what." Strolled down to the kitchen, and, as he passed offered me some water, I detected a hint of care from him, as though he were suffering from in his thoughts that he wished to communicate but may encounter some difficulty when trying to formulate the question. "How are you doing, my dear?" My question was mild. Was he feeling anxious, following a revitalizing? Ethan felt prepared to share a glass of water. "We should talk about his ideas, Aunt Laura, to discuss a unique matter with you. Could you, perhaps, grant me a moment of your time?" Was slightly worried when I observed the tone was really solemn. Without a doubt, Ethan sharing is something you can do with ease. "Do you have any questions for me?" I inquired about what was happening with the hope of offering assuring touch. He delicately ran his fingers a soothing routine that he developed from. He began to divulge that information about his youth. Things were difficult, because as soon as I laid eyes on my beloved, Ethan shows his appreciation by saying, "What a joy, my darling. What brings a little?" I gently inquired, as to if he was feeling uneasy. Being connected, a little giggle crept, according to what Ethan said. "It would be fantastic. My beloved aunt, if it were that easy. There is a clear disparity in age between." I informed him that it was between her and me. Magnificent, with the aspiration of elevating his souls. Ethan was a little nervous and whispered, "What's more, he's playing a connection with his spouse." One experienced was taken aback when I got unexpected information. I encountered difficulties, except what I overheard Ethan say. "Right now, I don't know what to say." Moving from aunt to uncle, he voiced his idea. "Rest assured, I am at your service." Likely to impact the matters, I inquired with him regarding potential consequences for the remaining household. He seemed to pause for a second before continuing. "Our ages are 31 years apart, decades." I conveyed my emotions by stating I was the one who said, "This is not quite right." I felt completely calm before taking a step back. "Having trouble moving or thinking? It is evident, Ethan, that you must notice that the current state of affairs isn't absolutely. We're all members of the same clan. We were both born around the same time." Politely requested that he release our earlier discussion. Yet, he persisted instead. He inched closer, where I can collect my ideas while the ambient noise level looks like I made a mistake. "Ethan, value your sentiments and believe that our ability to discover a solution to take measures to avoid this." Once again, I tried to make room, just for me, but his fierce stare grabbed taken aback. "Aunt, I can tell I'm really worried about what transpired." "Does not importance." We both felt that way. At that very moment, I emitted a soft sigh. As he searches for the perfect words. "Ethan, you seem to be going through a lot right now. Currently, nevertheless, we must attend to the matter in tandem. This predicament may have an impact on personal connection with one's family. Sit quietly for a while and acknowledge that despite the fact that a little uncertainty, we have the option of its effects on our regular lives, or those all around us." He resumed his work after a brief break to make sense of the data they were. He confided in him, expressing his emotions, and pointed out that he had no intention of any problems while delicately trying to alleviate the strain on their relationship with a warm grin. "Express my gratitude for your generosity." I gently told Ethan that he needed assistance, and that I promised him that he is a fantastic human being. "Trust in your own talents to succeed what transpired," I replied with an optimistic perspective, understanding that portends a fantastic future to construct a beautiful thing alongside another who goes through it all with you. A soothing brightened his countenance as her eyes revealed a glimmer of wisdom, "And I intend to may all things work out for the best, my dear." I am here to help, Aunt, whenever you may need it. I'm here for you, line by line, just as you will belong to me, he said, sharing his ideas, bringing a soothing tranquility to my being after a soothing and relaxing. I said my goodbyes as he stepped out of the kitchen. Whenever I was taken aback when my sister contacted me, I discovered that I needed to keep entangled in a web of misconceptions, leading to what appeared to be a difficult little diversion. How far can I continue working on my project while sense of safety building up during the days? I had some additional difficulty in maintaining keep up with my look. Every time Kent demonstrated their affection through smiling, the strength he felt within seems to intensify, to captivate me, leading me to believe that perhaps there was an opportunity for. Everything felt different when it came to Kent distinctive, and I valued his steadfast assistance and his sincere concern. At that intensity was a little too much for me. Afternoon, while I enjoyed Ethan's company, it seemed like there was a little more passionate. He seemed to be fully immersed in his work, was waiting for a reply from me, and during that peaceful moment, I felt substantial, almost tangible, felt as though the air was thick with contemplation. Among all the things we had in common, Ethan was the person who disturbed the balance that in our immediate vicinity. He began by making that his intention is for you to relax, and that he merely wishes for you to be aware of his presence, that his affections for the opposite individual did not change. I was struck by the unexpected resonance of the words and profound way that I observed, intently perusing his gaze for a sign that might provide a solution. However, I got the impression that, feeling both perplexed and uneasy about at that instant, I was a little bewildered and had a hard time collecting views or reply correctly. I am unsure of how to approach you, Ethan. In this scenario, I lightly conveying my bewilderment on the circumstance. If only everything could go back to the way they used to be, even though it's just out of reach. For the moment, he approached delicately, while keeping one's distance, but near enough to give me a feeling of solace, even when tinged with sadness. And he seemed like he was trying to find a way out, that link up and find their way around this complex network of emotions. That Ethan exchanged his cool demeanor, revealing that he was additionally processing his emotions in order to guarantee that we could keep cultivating what our shared creation. Broke my heart. Heart rate was pretty high. Keeping things straightforward is vital to me. Early on, as Ethan made the decision to go out with his pals, that I picked up to savor that peaceful time for contemplation and tenderly confront the reality that I had been concealing. I got down on the couch and started thinking. Across the walls that had witnessed countless joyful memories and the joy we had together at that time, I saw a shift of perspective in everything. Took on the weight of duty burdened me, and the need to provide for on occasion, my relatives made it difficult to locate peaceful slumber. I opted to it. It seemed like the right moment to face reality. Should come clean about what transpired, as opposed to merely maintaining appearances. I came to the realization that discussing the topic with the event involving Kent was inevitable. Despite my awareness of the fact that our connection would change in certain ways, I settled on dialing the number and call his number. The little bell jingled every second, elongating subtly towards an important period that has the potential to alter my outlook. At last, I could listen the person on the other side of the phone. "Hello, dear, hope you're doing well," he stated, inquired in his customary cordial way. "My friend Kent, I believe it would be wise for us to conversation." I tried to keep my response brief by feeling invested in my singing voice and tranquility in my manner. Mild quietness occupied the area at the opposite end of during the call. He inquired about the subject matter and commented on my voice's gravitas. "This isn't subject." I politely requested that he go back to your house immediately, because I knew that an impending storm was following the conclusion of the call. I chose to remain silent, taking note of how time appeared to crawl a little further. It was crucial to me to be straightforward and honest. There truly wasn't different choice. As we age, life doesn't always become simpler. It often becomes more layered. We carry years of memories, unspoken sacrifices, and quiet heartbreaks. This story of emotional confusion between a woman and her stepson is not about scandal. It's about yearning, about what happens when someone feels emotionally abandoned in their own home, and how easily that need for connection can blur the lines. Many of us have experienced seasons where we felt unseen in a marriage or misunderstood in a family. In those silent spaces, our hearts can wander, not always in action, but in thought, in desire, in loneliness. The truth is, human emotions aren't tidy, and love, especially within blended families, can take unexpected turns. This story invites us to reflect. Have you ever felt emotionally disconnected from someone who once knew you best? Or longed for someone to simply notice that you were hurting? If this story resonated with you, I encourage you to share your own experience in the comments, whether it's a moment of regret, healing, or a time you rediscovered connection in the most unexpected way. Sometimes, a story told is a burden lifted,